Upanishad mantras. He had just published his Upanishad because this one very clearly describes that please remove this shining effulgence so that I can see your real form. Just like we have it on the authority of Lord Brahma, that Krishna has spiritual form. Isvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means form. It's not that God is formless. If he's formless, means he's less something. But we know God means he's everything. So how can he be formless? They say, oh, you're limiting God by giving him a form. We're not giving him a form. You're limiting by saying he can have a form. Because God means he's inconceivable. If he was conceivable, if we could understand God, then we would be God ourselves. He's beyond our tiny brain power to understand. So he can be both have form and be formless at the same time. To say that he can't have form means you're putting some limit. But his form is not like this: blood, pus, urine, so many horrible nice things. Satchidanand, his form is full of eternal bliss and knowledge. So this mantra says, please remove that blinding of that formless aspect of God. Therefore, we're accepting also that God is formless. He has that aspect of the Brahman effulgence. But remove that effulgence. Like sometimes we have experience here that deer comes on the road, and as soon as our headlights shine in his eyes, he's blinded. He cannot see anything. He doesn't move out of the way. So we have to be very careful. They have sign. If you go to Sri Lanka, instead of having deer, they have elephant sign. And if you go to, then you know you're in Australia when you see kangaroo sign. So this was very important Upanishad. In fact, this Upanishad made my wife a devotee. She immediately understood that her impersonal concept was wrong, that Krishna is a person. So I remember in Los Angeles, Prabhu was teaching us every day. He would sit on his Vyasasana. This was in the old temple room. Now the Fate Museum is there. So the old temple room used to be there first. Then it moved to the new temple room where it is presently. And Prabhupada was just like an old sea captain. He'd chant with such a deep, rich voice. Om Purnamara Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavashyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatam Jagat Deena Taktena Bunjita Magridaha Kasasvidhanam. And Prabhupada would rock back and forth, so you got this feeling that we're on an old ship crossing over this great ocean of Kali. And Prabhupada is our captain. You just chant like an old sea captain. Om Purnam. I'm very happy people know this mantra. I'm surprised. Very nice. So then Prabhupada went to India, so he was teaching the devotees also there while he was traveling different places. He came to Surat, and we've seen the pictures of the devotees. They're covered with so many marigold flower garlands, their faces are about to disappear. One of those faces, she looks almost Indian, is a very dear god sister of mine named Kashalya. And she joined the moon as a very young girl. She was like 16 years old when she joined. So she was in Surat, she was probably 17 years old. So she was quite precocious young girl, not your, what we would consider Vedic. She was very young and spontaneous. So Prabhupada was teaching us these Upanishad mantras. So one time, just like a young girl wanting some attention, she went prancing up to Prabhupada and said, "Oh, Prabhupada, I know the whole Upanishad mantras by heart." And Prabhupada said, "That's nice." She wanted to get some attention about that. She smiled and said, "That's nice." So after Surat, they did program in the village. And now, in the city, we got such a huge reception. But in city, there's so many distractions. There's cinema, there's bars, there's restaurants. But if you go in the village, all the villagers are listening to the grass grow. So if this was 1971, foreign Vaishnavas coming, this was a big deal. Thousands and thousands of people came. They had a pandal. There was 70,000 people in this pandal. And Prabhupada was giving lecture every night. So one night, in the middle of his lecture, he was giving lecture all in Hindi, of course. He suddenly broke into English. And he said, and I have got one lady disciple. She can chant whole Isopanishad mantra by heart. And Kausalya understood what was going to happen next. And she said, oh no, why did I ever tell him? And then Prabhupada called her and he announced in Hindi that his one lady disciple was going to chant whole Isopanishad mantra by heart. And she looked out, 70,000 people, she just shut her eyes, went up to the microphone, Om Purnamada Purnamidam. She chanted whole Isopanishad mantra by heart. Then when she was finished, Prabhupada called her over to his Vyasa-san. And just like grandfather with granddaughter, he pulled her over the edge of the Vyasa-san into his lap, and he was rubbing her back that she had pulled it off. You just imagine Prabhupada rubbing him back in his lap. So Prabhupada is the purifier of the fallen souls and the ocean of karuna compassion. So once we get mercy of Guru and Vaishnava, we want to get mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's appeared in this very difficult age of Kali to give us this Yuga Dharma, Harinam, Sankirtan. So for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we have very beautiful bhajan. You all know by now, because everybody knows this Deena Bandhu's favorite bhajan, Sundar Lala, and your song she's for Sundar Lala.